You want to know how never to be bothered by anyone? First, you must understand this. Nobody has ever actually bothered you. What bothers you is your reaction. And if you can see that clearly, you become untouchable. Think about it. Someone insults you. Someone ignores you. Someone cuts you off in traffic. Immediately, you feel disturbed. But what caused the disturbance? Their action or your interpretation of it? The truth is, people behave as they do. But your suffering begins the moment you give their behavior the power to define your state of mind. Have you noticed how selective this is? A stranger mutters something rude, and you shrug it off. But if the same words come from your partner, your boss, your parent, it cuts deep. Why? Because you give those people weight in your story of yourself. Their words touch the ego, and the ego cries out, "How dare they?" To never be bothered, you must see this connection. It is not what they say, it is how tightly you cling to the idea of yourself. Loosen that grip, and suddenly their words are just sounds in the air. There is a story of a monk. A villager shouted at him, cursed, mocked him for hours. But the monk stood calmly, smiling. When asked later why he did not get angry, he replied, "If someone offers you a gift and you do not accept it, to whom does it belong? Insults are gifts you do not have to take. If you refuse them, they remain with the giver." Now imagine living like that. The world could shout and you could simply walk on, untouched, because you know the noise is theirs, not yours. That is real freedom. Freedom is not found in controlling others. Try as you may, you cannot stop people from being rude, judgmental, or ignorant. They will be as they are. The only freedom worth having is the freedom to choose your response, to laugh instead of lash out, to walk away instead of fight, to breathe instead of burn. This is how you never get bothered, not by silencing the world, but by understanding your power lies in what you make of it. The waves will crash, you can drown in them, or you can learn to surf. Now let me ask you, why do you let people live rent-free in your head? Someone upsets you in the morning, and by evening, you are still replaying it, polishing the wound, telling the story again and again. They may have forgotten. They are asleep in their bed, while you are still arguing with their ghost in your mind. Who is bothering you now? Not them, it's you. The chains are self-made. The door is unlocked. To be unbothered, you must notice how much of your suffering is just you continuing the conversation long after it has ended. But of course, it's not just strangers, is it? The ones who bother you most are the ones closest to you, your family, your friends, your partner. Why? Because you expect them to act according to your script. When they don't, you feel betrayed. Yet, can you see, they never agreed to follow your script. They are improvising, just like you. The reason they bother you is because you demand they be different than they are. The moment you drop the demand, the burden disappears. They may still behave foolishly, but your peace is no longer tied to their performance. Imagine if you let people be exactly as they are, not trying to change them, not trying to fix them, not even demanding that they understand you. Then you are free, because their behavior can rise and fall like the weather, and you remain steady. This is not indifference, it is clarity. You can still love, you can still care, but without tying your happiness to their mood. To never be bothered, you must learn this art. Let people be as unpredictable as clouds in the sky, and stop asking the sky to match your preference every day. Now, let's touch the root of the matter, the ego. The ego is the character you think you are. And this character is fragile, always hungry for validation, always afraid of rejection. When someone praises you, it inflates. When someone criticizes you, it deflates. You are like a balloon in their hands. But the truth is, the self they praise or insult is only an idea, a story. You are not that story. You are the awareness behind it. The moment you see this, you stop being tossed around by opinions. You are untouchable because you no longer cling. Think of an actor on stage. If the audience boos, the character may look humiliated, but the actor knows it is only a role. So too with you. The ego may get insulted, but you, the awareness, are never harmed. The one who realizes this plays through life with a lightness. Words may come, actions may come, but they pass like echoes through a hall. They no longer stick. To never be bothered is not to build thicker walls, but to see that there is no one inside to hurt. The play goes on, and you remain free. Often, when people criticize or insult, they are not speaking about you at all. They are speaking about themselves. Their anger, their fear, their frustration, they project it outward, hoping to lighten their own burden. If you absorb it, you carry what was never yours. But if you see it clearly, you recognize, this is their storm, not mine. And then you let it pass. To never be bothered is to learn the difference between what belongs to you and what belongs to them. Take what is useful, leave the rest. Many people believe the way to avoid being bothered is to build walls, ignore others, cut them off, isolate yourself. But this is only another trap. If you must shut yourself away to be at peace, you are not free, you are fragile. True freedom is to stand in the marketplace, hear the noise, see the chaos, and remain centered. To be still in the storm. Anyone can be calm when alone in the forest. But the one who is unbothered in the crowd, that person has discovered true strength. Let's consider anger. When someone lashes out at you, what do you usually do? You react with your own anger, and so their fire becomes yours. But who is really in control then? They are. They light the flame, and you carry it. But imagine instead letting the flame burn out before it touches you. Silence sometimes is more powerful than reply. Laughter sometimes is sharper than insult. To never be bothered is to learn the art of not catching every fire that is thrown your way. Some fires only burn if you pick them up. Think of water. When you strike it, it does not resist, it yields. And in yielding, it cannot be harmed. The sword that cuts through water gains nothing. So too with you. If you can be like water, soft, flexible, unresisting, then nobody can truly wound you. They may shout, insult, mock, but you remain fluid, moving, unshaken. This is not weakness. It is the highest strength. For stone can be broken, but water flows around every obstacle. To never be bothered, you must learn to flow. Another secret is this. People bother you because you expect them to be wise when they are not, kind when they are not, patient when they are not. But have you noticed? You too are not always wise, kind, or patient. Why demand from others what you cannot always give yourself? When you accept human beings as fallible, as clumsy travelers just like you, their mistakes lose their sting. The rude driver, the harsh word, the foolish decision all become less personal, more understandable. Compassion replaces irritation, and compassion cannot be bothered. A man once asked a sage, "How do you stay calm when people insult you?" The sage replied, "If a dog barks at you, do you bark back?" The man laughed. "Of course not." And the sage said, "Then why bark back when a man does?" The point is not to dehumanize others, but to realize how little sense it makes to give away your peace so cheaply. When someone barks, let it be. You don't need to prove yourself with noise. Silence is often the loudest answer. Now, here is something deeper. What if the people who bother you are actually your teachers? Think of it. The one who irritates you is showing you exactly where you are, not free. They reveal the buttons still inside you. Without them, you might believe you were enlightened, but they test you. They show you your edges. If you use these moments, you grow. Instead of saying, they ruined my day, you say, they showed me my work. In this way, even the most annoying person becomes part of your path toward freedom. This is why the wise do not resent difficulty, they welcome it. Because each irritation, each insult, is an invitation to see where you still cling. Imagine the next time someone cuts you off in traffic. Instead of exploding, you think, here is my chance to practice patience. Or when someone gossips about you, instead of defending, you think, here is my chance to practice letting go. Suddenly, life becomes your teacher, every person your guide. To never be bothered is not to avoid challenge, but to turn every challenge into growth. Now, some may ask, but what if people take advantage of me? Should I let them walk over me? Absolutely not. Being unbothered does not mean being weak. It means being clear. You can set boundaries without anger. You can walk away without bitterness. You can say no without guilt. Strength does not need noise. A mountain does not argue with the wind, it simply stands. The person who is never bothered is not a doormat. They are solid, calm, unmovable. And from that stillness, their yes and no carry far more weight. Think of the strongest people you know. They do not explode at every insult. They do not crumble at every rejection. They smile, they breathe, they carry on, and in their presence, others feel calmer too. Your peace is not only for you, it is contagious. When you are unbothered, you give others permission to put down their weapons as well. A room full of anger can be softened by one calm soul. And that calm soul could be you, if you refuse to be drawn into the madness of reaction. So how do you practice this? Practically. First, awareness. Notice when you are triggered. Feel the heat rise. Pause. Do not rush to act. Second, perspective. Ask, does this really matter? In a week, a year, on your deathbed, will this moment matter? Usually not. Third, release. Choose not to carry their noise inside you. Let it return to them. Practice these steps again and again, and slowly the chains fall away. You find yourself smiling where you once fumed, walking away where you once fought. That is progress. That is freedom. And remember, you cannot control the world. People will be rude. People will be unfair. People will misunderstand you. But you can always choose whether to hand them your peace. Think of your peace as a jewel. Will you give it away every time someone demands it? Or will you hold it close, knowing it is yours alone? The unbothered person is not cold, not distant, but they protect their jewel. They share love, laughter, kindness, but they do not give away control of their mind. That is the treasure nobody can steal. So the secret is simple. You will never stop people from being foolish, but you can stop making their foolishness your prison. To never be bothered is to live as awareness itself, open, free, untouchable. The world will shout, but you will smile. The world will test you, but you will stand. And when people ask, how are you so calm, so unbothered? You will know. It is not because the world changed, it is because you did.